Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a today's topic video. It's going to be for the 19th of October, and this is the series where if you wish to enter to win a free read with me, you can do so just by writing the word empowered in the comment section, making sure you're subscribed and giving this video a thumbs up. Those three things in combo get you entered to win, okay? And I do choose one subscriber each week to get a free reading with me. On that note, just want to give you guys a spoiler alert. Everybody's been so kind and so patient with me while I had so many internet connection issues that finally have been resolved. And to thank you all, I wanted to go live and do some free reads in general for my subscribers. So stay tuned for that. Keep your notification bells turned on. It'll likely be on Thursday. When I say Thursday, what I mean is I'm on the West Coast in the United States. So that's kind of just in case you're in a different place in the world, just so you know, my Thursday is going to be different than your Thursday. And so that's why I just wanted to, now you know I'm in the United States and I'm in the western part of the United States. So with that in mind, I'm not going to pick a time just yet, other than to say it'll be on Thursday and likely somewhere in the earlier hours of the morning for West Coast time. So probably mid-afternoon for East Coast time, but that will still remain to be seen because it's got to fit into my schedule. So that's the only reason I'm not going to nail down a time specifically. But let's get into this story, shall we, without further ado. So we have got the Empress. The Empress, by the way, it got blended into a deck that it shouldn't have been in, but that's okay. I like the fact that we have a surprise card in here. We have an Ace of Swords. We have a Hierophant. We have an Emperor. Heck yeah. So first off, I just have to say this. We've got what appears to be a potential marriage. And it's just become very clear to two people that, of course, this is my match, or this is the kind of person I'm supposed to be with. Maybe these two haven't even met each other. After all, she did come from a different deck. So she seems to not fit necessarily with this storyline yet. It's more like perhaps she and an emperor have both come to the same conclusion without even meeting one another. I know what kind of person I'm looking for. I'm looking for my empress. I'm looking for my emperor. This doesn't have to be about genders. This could be same-sex relationships as easily as it could be swap gender roles. The bottom line is we're seeing complementary energy. Okay. We have Ace of Wands. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Magician in the reverse. Here's the interesting thing. It's like these two are living in a parallel universe. And the only problem that I see is they both come to this conclusion. I know what kind of person I'm looking for. And now they're imagining and dreaming exactly one another, but then they go out questing for one another instead of manifesting. And they think it's going to take me forever to find that person, when in fact they're both, this would be like, especially the image of this is two people who have the power to manifest, especially being an emperor and an empress. And it's like they're standing on either side of, the one-way glass, where it's like, I can only see my own reflection coming back at me, even though I'm trying to look through the glass. And meanwhile, they're doing the same thing. These two characters can't see what's right in front of them because they're only separated by this one little partition of glass. But unfortunately, the glass is just highly reflective back to them. What the message is they want someone just like themselves. An emperor wants an empress. They want somebody that reflects back to them the same quality that they are. But it's like they need to understand how amazing they are, or they're going to go out on this quest and they're going to assume it's going to take me so long to meet somebody that matches with me. They haven't yet recognized, as an emperor and an empress, they have every ability to attract themselves, the quality of person that is much like themselves. The real sticking point is neither one of them recognizes the quality that they are. That's the only problem that I see that these two are having. They haven't identified how freaking amazing they are. If they could do that, it's just an emperor and empress aren't probably going to strut around and be like, I'm so awesome and I'm emperor, I'm an empress, I got all this going for me, blah, blah, blah. But they kind of need to do a little bit of that. These two, that's what their kryptonite is. That's what's making it so that they haven't been able to connect and easily just find one another because they haven't recognized that they are the beacon, the signal. If both of these characters, they might walk right past each other and still, and even think, wow, that person, they're awesome. They're probably already taken. I'm sure they wouldn't look my way because they're fabulous. I think that they both are still walking around thinking it's going to take them forever to meet the right person, only because they haven't yet realized that they are an amazing catch. So it's inhibiting their ability to manifest each other. Okay, we've got to help these two. I'm like, how do we get these two to look at themselves differently? Okay, Empress came out first, so let's look at her first. We have got a Nine of Pentacles sideways. She might need to recognize that she already has plenty on her own, certainly. But if she's been, how do I say this, too independent, where she's like, I know what is too independent, but let me put it in this perspective. If she thinks that she's supposed to never ever, I don't even want to use the word need, but if she feels like it's wrong that she should ever want or wish for a person who would contribute 50% to life, or to, let's say, just buying a house, since we have a house on this imagery. If she has got it into her head that, I mean, sure, I would like to meet the right person, but I'm not allowed to say, wow, my house feels a little bit empty. I would like to fill my house with, the love of another person, because, oh no, that sounds weak, so I don't want to say that. That might be like a sticking point that she's allowed to want another person in her energy. Or by contrast, if it's like, well, I would like to have another person, but I should probably like own my own home first, and I should do this and do that, and I should be so completely self-sufficient that I never, you know, build a relationship with someone where my finances are reliant upon, the two of us combining our resources. And again, it's fine if she wants to operate that way, but if she's got it in her head that she's not allowed to envision a different life for herself, where it doesn't just have to be her standing always on her own 2 feet, everything that she owns is all in her name, and she never, shares any kind of, responsibility with another person, because she's not allowed to. It all has to be her, and just her and her alone. That might inhibit her ability to really let herself feel like she's allowed to have another person in her life, because she might have set the bar so high. Well, first I have to own this, and first I have to do this, and I can't ever need anybody's help on anything, or turn to anybody for advice, because I'm supposed to have it all figured out all by myself. Even though secretly I'd like to have a partner to do those things within life, but no, I'm not allowed to. That might be something inhibiting her. We have a Chariot for her, and we have the Inspiration of Cups. There's also a need for her to maybe play more, a need for her to move forward and see life and relationships as fun, sensual, um, like looking at a relationship as something that should add more laughter into life, and not just be about, okay, now it's serious. I've met someone, so now I have to be like, this has to be super intense. No, instead, it could be super lighthearted. Also, if she's under the impression that if I meet the right person, it's obviously going to have to be super serious from the gate. This almost says, no, maybe starting with something really small, really, maybe she's expecting that if she meets an emperor, she's supposed to know that they're the emperor right out of the gate. And this is almost suggesting, like, sometimes people wear different hats. They look different than we think they are at first. Like not everything is necessarily exactly what we think it is at the beginning. It's okay to start out meeting somebody in a lighthearted way, having a cup of coffee, thinking it's just a friend, or that her one true love or this amazing emperor that she wants to meet could be the person who lives next door. And she's like, no, I mean, that's not how you meet an emperor. I would have to meet an emperor in some really intense and super serious way. She may have these preconceived notions. And this says, wipe all that away and just let things move forward and let it be playful and let it be fun and let it evolve. It feels like for her, her blockages to having an emperor are simply that she's put so much intense emphasis on what she needs to do, how it has to go, that it almost has set like a, I don't want to say an unrealistic expectation, but more like she's placed judgment on herself if she allows it to be more lighthearted and easygoing and not something that all has to be pre-mapped out. So now what is it for them? What is it that could help them to be able to find their empress a little easier? Interestingly enough, we've got the emperor in the upright, but we've got that this is the Hierophant. In this deck they call him the high priest, but we've got the Hierophant in the reverse. This comes across like for themselves they are very similar. I think both of these people have, the emperor and the empress, have set such high bars for themselves. One of their obstacles in finding the right empress for them is thinking that they have to be a certain way. They always have to be 100% put together. They can't have any weakness. They can't ever need somebody beside them. They can't have their own fears. They have to be impervious. They have to have everything figured out. They have to run an empire first. And especially with this high priest in the reverse, or the Hierophant rather, there's something here about maybe they secretly think that they're still trying to figure themselves out, and so they judge themselves really harsh, because this is the connection that somebody has with their higher self. We've got a Seven of Swords in the reverse, and we got the Seven of Pentacles upright. Yeah, they've made it a little bit unattainable. They know what kind of person they want, but they doubt that they are enough. They're saying, look, I'm just being honest with myself. I'm still a work in progress, but I need to be an emperor. I need to know myself completely. You know, what I would almost suggest is that sometimes the way we get to know ourselves is through our interactions with others. You know, it uncovers aspects of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. It helps us to grow. It helps us flesh out certain attributes, or different people trigger us to look at ourselves in different ways. What if they can't fully become the version of themselves where they fully know every aspect of themselves until they've been with their empress? But instead they keep saying, no, I have to be honest with myself. I'm still a work in progress. I'm not 100% the emperor, because I still have some fears and I still have some things that I'm not sure about me. I don't always know the right decision to make, but I have to always know the right decision. I can't make a mistake. I can't ever say or do something wrong as an emperor, otherwise I won't be an emperor. It's like this person has a little bit of imposter syndrome. They're thinking that they're still not good enough, but people expect them to be an emperor. They should be by now. They're a certain age. They have these really intense expectations of themselves, and that's a blockage. The fact that they keep thinking, I know what kind of a person I want, but I'm probably not good enough to have that kind of a person because I'm still a work in progress. Okay, so both of these characters are freaking fantastic, and they both need to lighten up. They both need to just lighten up. These characters are wonderful. They already are emperors and empresses, but they keep thinking that they're not enough, and that's going to be their biggest impediment to coming together. The universe says King of Wands in the reverse. King of Wands in the reverse says ego, 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 but this is 10 of Wands sideways, Queen of Wands upright. Okay, so hold on. Each one of them went through hell in a handbasket. They were in some kind of relationship where they each, it doesn't matter what genders we're talking about, but they each carry some scars with them. Now, maybe it wasn't relationships like romance. Maybe it's that each one of them had parents that patterned something that was not the greatest, and they kept that in their head. that, maybe a parent didn't think highly of the other, or maybe one parent was a bit of a tyrant toward the other. However it went down, they both carry wounds, and this could be wounds from childhood, and then maybe they got themselves into relationships where they found themselves with a tyrant or tyrannical or unsupportive partner in the past, and that was their experience in relationships. So in their heads, they still carry this "I'm not enough." I watched it pattern to me. Then I got myself into a relationship where I reinforced that. So always there's a scar that I carry that reminds me that I'm not enough, and I meet people that will reinforce that in me. That's what relationships are, is it tells you that you're still not good enough. Instead of a relationship being something that should be beautiful, where like someone lifts us up and tells us that they choose us because they love the things that we bring to the table, that their life is better because we're in it, because we have, in all the world and all these 8 billion plus people on this planet, there's nobody quite like us. Like that's ideally what, look, an emperor and an empress are going to elevate each other. They're going to raise each other up. But I think both of them share the same, somewhere, same background, where they both had something the exact opposite of support patterned to them. They saw somebody cutting somebody else down. They saw their parents do it to each other. They received that treatment in their own personal relationships. And I don't know that either one of them has recognized that is something that still lingers. With that 10 of staves, 10 of wands being sideways, I definitely think they both don't realize it. And yet these are both such loving people. They have so much love to give, and they're hesitant. They're hesitant that their cup isn't quite enough. But again, they're the last to realize that that's where their real hang up is. I think that each one of them assumes, if they get into a partnership, the other person will tell them, you're really still not enough. They're hesitant to give their cup because they still fear that it won't measure up. And yet here they are, emperors and empresses. Those this is a weird blend, because it basically says they do know that they're enough. But when it comes to the most fundamental aspect of these two characters really being able to connect with somebody that they view as absolutely amazing, that is where they are most inclined to say, I've met an amazing person, but I'm probably not going to measure up to what they deserve. And so I think that it's like this enhanced humbleness that they need to dial that down by like 500 notches, and they need to dial up their personal confidence. We don't usually think of emperors and empresses as not being confident. That's why instead I would prefer to talk about this like they're overly humble. But that's all because of what was patterned to them, and they really are loving people that would love to give and share, but they're still convinced that it's going to take a long time to find the right person. Universe, are they going to find each other? Got Queen of Sacred Circles. Their whole life is going to be about this, from babyhood to old age. They're both on this same energy vibe of they are learning to be more grounded. 8 of Cups, it's a solo journey. A lot of this is a solo journey of learning to be more grounded and walking away from preconceived notions that, gosh, I'd like that, but I don't know when I'm going to have it. They're going to get there. These two are going to find each other. We got the 10 of Cups in the upright. Win. Universe, do we have a win? How are they going to do this? We got 4 of Swords and we got 2 of Wands. The second they both lay down those old burdens, let that sand out of their sleeves they've been lugging around, and realize they should be highly selective and choosing who's good enough to be with them, not consistently saying, I'd love to meet someone, but probably I won't measure up. They need to turn that script upside down and say, wait a minute, I'm somebody, and I should be looking at the people that I meet and saying, is that what I want? Is that person going to be who I'm looking for? Is that what I'm looking, like what would satisfy me? Do they fit what it is that I'm seeking? Instead of constantly saying, well, that person is great, but probably I wouldn't be enough for them. I think as soon as they turn that phrasing around, they'll find a much easier time to connect with each other. Both of these characters are going to be crazy about each other, let me tell you that. But it's going to take them some time to reinforce the idea that, no, you're amazing and I want to be with you. I think these two are headed for some serious happiness with that 10 of Cups. So, all right, you guys, take care. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.